Well, this is the story of a man from southeastern Indiana, about an hour south of Indianapolis and an hour west of Cincinnati. He lives about a half a mile back at the end of a lane that crosses the same creek 3 times before you ever get to his house. He jokes that he's so far back in that holler that they have to pipe sunshine to him. Well, the man's name is Larry Campbell, and it was back in this holler that he and his wife Rosalynn raised 3 big strapping boys and 1 beautiful daughter. For the past 23 years, he worked for the Kopp family of Batesville, Indiana, where he managed their land and livestock at that location. It was primarily a backgrounding operation for feeder cattle, something Larry loved dearly and was very good at. There was not a sick calf that Larry couldn't look at and tell you within a split second how to treat. His God-given talent with cattle was very apparent, and when given the opportunity to diversify, he knew just what direction he was headed: show cattle. But he'd have to have help, and a bull. Well, help came in the form of Tim Schwab, a young man originally from the Cincinnati area, but was working in Iowa. He wanted to come home, and Larry needed a good man to help manage the new cow herd. Well, Tim had a friend who just happened to have a bull in a sale that spring. Well, Larry, Rosalynn, and the kids all load up and head to Iowa that fine day in May of 1997 to take a look at this bull that's for sale. Well, Larry thought he was different, and in a good way, I guess, because him and that friend of Tim's, they bought half of him for $5,250. Well, the little bull grew and grew and grew, but he still wasn't very big. At least that's what everyone told him at the National Western in Denver in 1998 when they displayed him there. Well, what that crowd didn't realize was, when Larry Campbell gets something in his head, he's going to prove he's right. And he did. Well, he went home and bred every cow they had to that little bull. And you can about imagine what happened next. Or can you? Well, that little bull started siring champion after champion after champion at the largest shows in the nation. And not only were they out of Larry's bull, but they were also out of his cows, too. Well, the bull's name was Heatseeker, and he became so popular that he stayed sold out for 4 years straight before he died a legend in 2004. And still today, nearly every champion at nearly every show goes back to Heatseeker in their bloodlines. But where does this leave the man behind the bull? Unfortunately, not in a very good spot.
And I've got cancer in my bones, I've got cancer in my lungs, cancer in my kidneys, and my lymph nodes, and in my brain.